the merger of several provincial-level administrative units. Merging several provincial-level administrative units involves developing a plan for merging a number of provincial-level administrative units. Merging provinces. Perhaps this is the phrase we'll hear and discuss most in the first half of 2025. The possibility of being in one province today and another tomorrow is likely just a matter of time. This is the next step in the streamlining revolution that Viet Nam is undertaking with great determination. We are too numerous. There are too many provinces. This is a very difficult problem that we have to solve. But why does Vietnam need to merge provinces at this musical? The arrangement of administrative units for convenient national governance has always been a top priority for every country. Vietnam is no exception. To reach its current number of 63 provinces and cities, this S-shaped landmass has undergone numerous mergers and separations of provinces and cities. This has actually been happening since feudal times. Imagine you are a native of Bac 9 and possess the ability of immortality that has lasted for. Let's go back to 1802 when King Gia long ascended the throne as emperor. At that time, Vietnam's territory had expanded to almost its present size. He established a fairly complete system of government from the central to the local level. Gia long divided the country into three major administrative regions: Bac Than, Gia Den, and Truc Don, corresponding to present-day northern, southern, and central Vietnam. Of these, the directly managed enterprises were under the direct control of the imperial court. This area was administratively divided into a military zone with strategic importance for protecting the capital city, and the administrative levels from highest to lowest were prefecture, district, and commune. Your hometown at that time was Kin Bac Town, one of the 11 towns belonging to the northern citadel. The system of family-run cities was similar, only changing the way they were called. The city's administrative center, the capital, with each city headed by a governor general. This position has the authority to make decisions on many important administrative matters: military, taxation. However, concentrating too much power in one individual also leads to many negative consequences, such as abuse of power. During the reign of King Min Mai, you witnessed another major administrative reform, recognizing shortcomings. The king abolished the tribal governorship, merged the prefectures and districts, and transformed them into provinces. The old system of administrative districts was abolished, and Kin Bac district was transformed into Bac Ninh province. Now you have become a true citizen of a province. At that time, Vietnam's administrative divisions were divided into 30 provinces and one Thua, Thien prefecture. The term province officially appeared from this point, laying the foundation for Vietnam's later administrative system. In my opinion, Emperor Min Ampiang's division of provinces was very scientific and met the practical demands of the time. At that time, our population was very large. It was only around the time of Emperor Min Mem Tuing, about 15 million people. Not only did the Vietnamese administrative system change during the feudal period, but it also underwent significant adjustments during wartime, particularly between 1975. In the north, the Democratic Republic of Vietnam government implemented administrative reforms in line with the socialist economic model, including the merger of many provinces. Your hometown of Bac Ninh was then expanded to include Bac Giang and given a new name. Bac. The entire North Vietnam consisted of only provinces. Conversely, the South subdivided its administrative units for easier military control, increasing the total number of provinces to 44 by 1970. The process of Reorganizing administrative units can be likened to measuring a suit. You can't wear a shirt from 20 years ago. Let's not even talk about how old and outdated it is, because you might not even fit into that shirt with your current body size. The same applies to a country. Population growth, shifts in economic models, and infrastructure development have caused the original framework to gradually become too restrictive and unsuitable. Therefore, after the reunification of the country, Vietnam has continuously had to revise its traditional costume. Vietnam had 72 provincial-level administrative units, including autonomous regions. 2 years later, the National People's Congress dissolved the autonomous region and merged a number of localities, reducing the number to 38 provinces by the end of 1970. However, just a few years later, some provinces were separated again. By 19, the country had 40 provinces and cities. At that time, Vietnam was entering a period of strong industrialization and modernization, and the local economy was experiencing rapid growth. However, given the existing transportation system and technological limitations, provincial authorities were unable to manage the situation effectively. For example, the province of Lai Châu at that time, which included present-day Lai Châu and Dien Bien, had the second largest area in the country. In addition, the complex mountainous terrain makes transportation difficult. This is a major obstacle in management. At that time, the administrative center of the former Lai Châu province was located in Dien Bien town, now Dien Bien Phu City. If you live in Tam Duong district and need to go to the town center to handle some paperwork, you will need to travel more than 226 km to get there. Given the travel conditions at that time, 226 km was a very long distance. Not to mention, the Sun La hydroelectric project has also caused the province to be cut off by the Da River. Given this situation, dividing the province into smaller ones would be the appropriate solution. Therefore, over the more than 20 years from 1980 to 2003, Vietnam underwent several provincial divisions, increasing the total number of administrative units to. Among these, the two provinces of Bac Ninh and Bac Giang were re-established after 1996, and you returned to your hometown of Bac Ninh as it is today. The scale of the province after the separation is suitable for the management level of local officials, helping to improve administrative efficiency, and at the same time, the new province is in a position to make good use of its existing resources and potential. For example, the two provinces of Can Tho and Hau Giang, after they were separated, Can Tho is being developed as a center for agricultural product processing, science, and human resource training for the southwestern region of Vietnam. Meanwhile, other regions have focused on developing large-scale fisheries, or like Dak Lak and Dak Nong, which, after separation, have maximized the development of their unique cultural characteristics. Dak Nong is mainly inhabited by the Hmong people, while Dak Lak has a large population of the E ethnic group. The next major turning point occurred in 2008, when the National Assembly decided to expand Hanoi's administrative boundaries by merging the entire province of Ha Tây, My Linh district of Vien Phuc province, and 4 communes of Luong Son district, Ho Binh province. This merger helps Hanoi expand its sustainable maritime development space, becoming a political, economic, and cultural center befitting its status in the region. Since then, the number of provinces and cities has decreased from 64 to 63 and has remained stable until now. Vietnam will have a total of 57 provinces and 6 centrally administered cities, including Hanoi, Ho Chi, Haiphong, Da Nang, Can Tho, and Hue. After years of administrative reorganization, the positive impacts it has brought are undeniable. However, it seems that, given the current situation, this approach is no longer suitable for Vietnam's scale of development. That also served as a catalyst for the policy of merging provinces and cities, which is being vigorously promoted. Musically, looking at a current map of Vietnam, you can see that the land area is unevenly distributed among the provinces and cities. Provinces in the Red River Delta and Mekong Delta regions generally have small land areas, while many provinces in central Vietnam and the Central Highlands have very large areas. The fragmentation of administrative units is one of the biggest limitations of the current system. In addition to the land area criterion, provinces and cities must also ensure sufficient population size and the number of district-level administrative units. Specifically, mountainous provinces must have a population of 900,000 or more and a minimum area of 8,000 km. Meanwhile, Delta provinces must have a population of at least 1.4 million people and a minimum area of 5,000 km. At the same time, each province must have 9 district-level administrative units, including at least one city or town. Based on the above criteria, there are currently 49 provinces and cities that have not met at least one of the 3 standards as stipulated. Some provinces have very large areas but small populations, such as Lai Chau and Kan Tung. Meanwhile, there are other provinces with small populations, such as Bac Ninh and Hung Yen. There are too many provinces. China has nearly 1.5 billion people. Yet, they have 31 provinces and municipalities. We are like that. But now the 63 provinces and cities are too small. And now regional linkages are being created. And things are starting to form where there is no more room for development. So we need to study them. Let's make a comparison to better understand the example of General Secretary to Lam. China has an area of 9.6 million km, population of 1.4, nearly 30 times larger than Vietnam in area and almost 14 times larger population. Despite its vast size and large population, the continent only has 34 provinces and cities. Similarly, with an area of 9.8 million square kilometers and a population of 18 million. The United States is the 3rd largest country in the world by both land area and population. However, the US only has 50 of them. Meanwhile, Vietnam has 63 provinces, cities, a number that seems rather large given its territory and population size. The practice of dividing administrative units into smaller units also presents some challenging issues at the present time. Firstly, it makes the state apparatus cumbersome, resulting in trillions of dong and costly budget expenditures. Provinces and cities mean 63 separate administrative bodies, with more than 1,000 provincial-level departments and agencies. Just considering salaries and operating costs alone, each province spends tens of billions of dong each year, according to calculations by the Ministry of Interior. Each district unit spends an average of about 50 billion VND per year to maintain its operation. That's just at the district level. At the provincial level, that figure would certainly far exceed 50 billion VND. Therefore, reducing the number of provincial-level administrative units through mergers would save the state budget a significant amount of money. Economists estimate that the merger will save approximately 5 trillion VND per year, accounting for about. This money could be reinvested in essential areas such as healthcare, transportation infrastructure, and social security. In fact, in just first 3 months of 2025, after cutting thousands of unnecessary positions, the state budget allocated more to education, specifically through the complete exemption of tuition fees for students from preschool to high school in public schools nationwide. Besides saving on costs, merging provinces also helps improve management efficiency. Similarly, if a company has 6-3 each Branch must submit a separate report to the CO every month. Leaders will have to spend too much time reading, analyzing, and making decisions. And there may even be duplicate or slightly contradictory reports. Conversely, if the company restructured by consolidating 63 branches into, say, 40 larger regions, the process would certainly be faster. The filtered information helps the leadership team make quick decisions. The company's management and operational processes will also become smoother. The merger of provinces would have a similar effect.